Om Tat Sat. My humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman, to my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayanandaji Maharaj, to sage Narada and all other sages and saints, and to each of you divine soul watching today's satsang. So today we will be covering Sutra number 50 from chapter number 2, Narada Bhakti Sutras, Glory of Supreme Devotion. Commentaries by my Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayanandaji Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So let's get started. This is the last sutra of Glory of Supreme Devotion, Sutra number 50. And we will be starting tomorrow, Sutra number 51, but chapter number 3, which is called Primary and Secondary Devotion. So we have been enjoying the glory of Supreme Devotion for a while now. So we will be moving on to chapter 3 tomorrow. But let's cover this last sutra, Sutra 50. It says, Sa tarati, sa tarati, sa lokanstyarayati. Again, sa tarati, sa tarati, sa lokanstyarayati, which means he crosses Maya. He crosses Maya and helps mankind to cross the ocean of Maya as well. So what a beautiful sutra that this is, that a devotee becomes a universal benefactor. Only somebody who has reached the other side, who knows the process, can pull you on the other side also. And that's what self-realized sages and saints, or people who are walking very seriously on that path, are able to guide others. He becomes a universal benefactor. Spiritual movement is not a project for the delight of an individual alone, but rather it is the most effective method of promoting harmony, order, and goodwill in the world. Why? Because that is part of nature's plan to bring harmony, to bring synchrony, to bring love and compassion. And we see nature doing that, and yet we forget that and we want to do our own things, and then we get caught. So that is, but with many blessings, when a sage comes in our life, when a saint comes, or a Swami and some satsanga comes in our life, we are pulled towards the real meaning. And that is the grace that Sage Narada is talking about here, of these beautiful, wonderful souls who give themselves to others. All efforts to raise the cultural level of the world will remain empty unless the mystic art of divine love is taught as the ideal of human existence. From a spiritual point of view, this world process is a terrible ocean. It is. That's why Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanudarshanam, birth, death, old age, disease, all these are painful. And so here Sage Narada is guiding the same thing. He says, it's a terrible ocean. Birth and death are the waves. Cravings are the whirlpools. Mental impurities are the sharks and other monstrous creatures inside the ocean. Grief and sorrow are the constant howling sounds of the waves. Without the ideal of divine love, people in the world are as if sinking in the ocean of misery, bobbing up and down, and we need support. We need a big ship to carry us, take us out of this Maya. They alone can cross this ocean who are endowed with divine love. Others, the rest of the people, will continue to bob up and down, which means life and death, different embodiments, different processes will continue on and on. They not only cross the ocean for themselves, these sages and saints, but then they create ships to enable others to cross it also. Such is the compassion of these. Just like Buddha, after attaining enlightenment, enabled many to follow the spiritual path. That became the life of the mission. Jesus did the same thing after attaining enlightenment. He became the savior of many. So all sages and saints become the saviors of humanity. Those who are devoid of spiritual sensitivity, people who don't have this knowledge or who are not walking sincerely on this path, they may try to save others, but they are unskilled swimmers who are themselves drowning, and in their effort to save others actually succeed in drowning them. So how can the blind lead the blind, and therefore both of them fall? And this is why this path, this holy path, is full of whirlpools and scary thoughts, because anybody can wear good looking clothes and talk good sounding things and claim himself to be a spiritual person. But a real person, real spiritual person, he may not be that at all, and he may be an imposter, and therefore, or not having the full knowledge of reaching that place. That is why on this holy path it is very important that we follow proper guidance and follow the right guru. Only then, because in this case, people who are not serious themselves, or who have not reached the end, and they start guiding others, they can extend their hand and in order to save them, but they are only going to drown them and not help them. So, and we have covered all these beautiful qualities. We need to get to that genuine state where we are true to our conscience, to our God, to our teachings, to our devotees. Only then, those are the qualified teachers we need to follow. So those qualities are expressions of supreme devotion. They have been mentioned. We covered those in sutras 46 to 49, all those qualities that we should try to cultivate. Summarily, they consist of renunciation of all attachments. That's the first thing. Without giving up attachments, we cannot progress. Second is service of the preceptor, which means uh, our guru, the guru who is creating the light for us, who has shared this deep mystery, this knowledge. So, therefore, serving him with love and dedication, sharing his teachings with others, following the holy path. Freedom from the sense of possession. So, basically, giving up mine, me, mine, my things kind of idea. Just giving up the sense of possession, which means when even this body doesn't belong to us, what can we say is ours? We think all this is permanent, we think this is all us, but in reality it's not. If we exhale but we can't inhale, that is the end of our this so-called body. We will be dead. But that energy keeps pushing that breath in our body, because it wants us to live, and it wants us to do the right things, or whatever the mission of our life is. But we have to understand that there's a deep science that is way beyond us. So, taking recourse to a solitary place we had talked about, and that is within us, not necessarily in forests, and in satsanga, rooting out the bondage of the world, moving it out, becoming free of the three gunas, renunciation of yoga kshema, not be constantly worried, how will I eat, what will happen, how will I survive, giving up the fruits of karmas, renunciation of all karmas, actions, going beyond the pairs of opposites, and renunciation of the Vedas and attainment of divine love. So, we had covered each of these things in great detail. So, if you are just listening to this sutra, go back to the previous sutras. This is extremely profound knowledge and not to be done in a hurry. Just like you take your medicine one day at a time, chew on it, contemplate on it, introspect, and then may we all be blessed with the blessings of our worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananda ji, and also Sage Narada, who is guiding us with so much love of this divine love, Narada Bhakti Sutras. So, unless we turn divine, it is all a journey. But the journey, you will start getting messages inside. You will start feeling more peaceful, more joyful, happy. Things will not matter so much. And the proof is in the pudding. So, therefore, the whole Sanatan Dharma teachings are more based on your personal experience. You will feel better. Like a hungry person has to eat. Just by looking at a picture, he cannot satisfy his hunger. So, in much in the same way, these essential teachings are to make us spiritual and whole through our personal experience. And we all grow differently at different pace, depending upon our effort and progress and our prarabdha karma, etc. So, we have covered a lot of detail, and I hope you continue to enjoy this sutra, and may the blessings of all sages and saints be upon all of you. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Om Tat Sat.